Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to the channel. It's your boy, World of Wrestling. Back after a 2-week hiatus since the Saturday night's main event. Been very busy with Christmas and the holidays and everything else in between. Haven't watched wrestling in actually 2 weeks. Last night was the first time I've watched it. It's been a while. So, excuse me for my lack of content here, but I was busy with life and did not watch any of the wrestling that was taking place at all. Last night's AEW Dynamite for January 1st, 2025 to start off the new year. Main evented with FTR and Adam Copeland against the Death Riders of Wheeler Yuta, Claudio Castagnoli, and Jon Moxley. I thought this show was okay, but I still don't see any big excitement about this company anymore. Really. Honestly, guys, I think that this company has fallen off the rails. I don't know if they're ever going to get back on the correct path, where they're going to get their viewership. You can notice that the arenas are smaller. You notice the rampway is like right next to the ring, which it never used to be that way. It feels very awkward and weird, actually. Feels like I'm watching an Impact Wrestling show, which is not good. But last night's show wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. There were some things that were great. The wrestling was awesome. I think the wrestling was very good for the important matches that took place. There was some story Ricochet with Swerve Strickland, which was good. I did like that. That was, Ricochet turning into the evil villain was actually rather out there and kind of bizarre, but it does make sense to what they're doing. So I did enjoy that. So we got some interesting things that took place on the show that were intriguing, but other than that, most of it was just kind of like there, and that's pretty much it. It wasn't shit, like creatively shit, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I gotta watch this garbage type of stuff. So anyway, we get a rundown of what happened at the World's End pay-per-view. We then cut to Jon Moxley and the Death Riders backstage in the moments after the World's End went off the air, with Mox claiming he dragged AEW to safety over the past few years. Promises to destroy the AEW World Championship before addressing Adam Copeland. Mox claims there is no authority in AEW and that he is the king. Backstage, Rated FTR addressed Death Riders ahead of their trios match later tonight. All three men are ready to go, promising to take the fight to the Death Riders and on the mother of all semi-casts. We head to ringside and we have our opening match between Orange Cassidy and Hangman Page. Good match. Fortunately, Hangman Page actually walks away with the victory here instead of Orange Cassidy. I'm not upset with that. That gives him momentum, and I honestly think that he should be the guy to win this world championship. Either that or Darby Allin. One of the two. Personally. So, Page refuses to celebrate as he lays some punches into Cassidy after the match is over. And it all culminates in Hangman hitting Cassidy with a deadeye. Not once, but twice. Officials run down to the ring, including Christopher Daniels, who gets laid out by the irate Page, and Hangman leaves the ring, shouting at Daniels to stay out of his business as we cut away. Backstage, we hear from Jay White, who addresses Wheeler Yuta, costing him the AEW World Championship at World's End. He plans to get his revenge, but that won't make him stray from his path to Mox and the title, which begins later tonight when he faces Swerve Strickland and Roderick Strong for a spot in next week's Casino Gauntlet match. Doesn't matter whose house this is, you will breathe with the Switchblade. Back at ringside, the Acclaim are heading out to the next match, which is the Acclaim versus the Hurt Syndicate of Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin kicked the shit out of Max Caster, and they end up winning the match with the Hurt Lock from Lashley to get the victory. What's his partner, Anthony Bowens, he had enough of Max Caster's bullshit and basically walked away from the match, pretty much. Once Max Caster got in the match, he pretty much had enough and he walked. He just watched him get his ass kicked and pretty much was like, I'm done. Not that I blame him. The pair celebrate alongside MVP as we cut backstage where Swerve Strickland addresses the three-way match later on tonight. Back at ringside, Jamie Hayter makes her way to the ring, and we get our next match between Jamie Hayter and Julia Hart. This match was fair, I guess. I was glad to see that Julia Hart won. Though the miss to the face did not look all that big of a deal. I did not see much miss go to her face. Actually, to be quite frank with you, I don't think I saw any miss on her face at all. I saw it more on the mat than in her face. So that was kind of weird. But she ends up winning the match, Julia Hart, and picks up the victory. Next, we have a video package. The feud between Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher seems to rage on despite Ospreay picking up a win over Fletcher in the Continental Classic semifinals at World's End. We come back from a break to a video package hyping up Kenny Omega before hearing from Okada after winning the Continental Classic. He warns Kenny to stay out of his way after the battles they've had over the years. And he pretty much says, "Ma," as Kenny Omega used to metaphorically kiss the gun and then shoot. And he went ahead, did the exact same thing, but then said, "Bitch." I like Okada. I think his promos are pretty good. His English has gotten a lot better. And the funniest thing is his best catchphrase is "bitch." I think that's hilarious. Back at ringside, Mercedes Moné is on her way down the ramp as we see the ring set up for the celebration following her win at World's End. Moné tells Asheville to say hello to their CEO before giving everyone a special video package focused on the rise of Mercedes Moné since coming to AEW, along with her success in New Japan as of late. We head back to the ring where Moné hypes up her match at Wrestle Destiny against Mina Shirakawa. And she talks about wanting Mina's Rev Pro women's title as well because money changes everything. Commentary clarifies that this is indeed a title-for-title match on January 5th at the Tokyo Dome while the CEO dances to her ring music. We cut to a video in support of the Hurricane Helene relief efforts through a variety of charity organizations in the area before showcasing the first responders attending. Okay, so we head backstage where Alex Marvez, we actually see Alex Marvez twice on this show. How disgusting. I can't stand Alex Marvez. I think he's one of the worst fucking commentators in the company. How this guy still has a job is beyond me. Cut backstage where Alex Marvez hears from the United Kingdom, or the Undisputed Kingdom, ahead of Roderick Strong's match tonight. Cole says the group is now complete with Kyle here, and Strong is ready to earn the number 1 spot in next week's Casino Gauntlet match. He walks off, and we cut away to ringside. Roderick Strong makes his way out to the ring, as well as Jay White and Swerve Strickland. We get our 3-way matchup to determine who gets a spot in the Casino Gauntlet match. Jay White actually picks up the victory here by defeating Roderick Strong. Swerve Strickland kind of gets taken out of this match thanks to Ricochet with gold scissors. And then pretty much shreds the shit out of Swerve Strickland. This was the biggest moment out of the match. It wasn't really the match that was important. It was a story that developed during the match with Ricochet and Swerve Strickland. So we got a rivalry taking place between these two. It was slowly building, but it never looked like it was going to turn into this, where Ricochet turns out to be a raving lunatic. And he's kind of over the top, personally, I think. I'm not too keen on his role. I think he needs to tone it down just a little bit. It seems like he's a little over the top with this. But he continues to attack Swerve Strickland with the gold scissors, also punching him out. Blood's all over his suit, Ricochet's suit. There's blood on Ricochet's forehead from bumping heads with Swerve Strickland. And eventually the Undisputed Kingdom actually come out to save Swerve Strickland from the beating of Ricochet, which is very odd. I didn't see that one coming. And hopefully they make sense of it. Maybe they're going to become allies to one another or something. I'm not quite sure. Backstage, Alex Marvez tries to get a word from Jeff Jarrett's buddies when the last outlaw himself, Marvez, is asked to leave as the group conveys with Jarrett asked if he is sure he wants to go through with whatever announcement he's to make tonight. Karen appears to promise she will stand by him no matter what before handing him a pair of his boots, with Jeff Jarrett walking off as we cut away. Elsewhere, Mariah May continues to hype herself up as she talks about the state of the women's division, which is practically dead. There is no women's division. It's just one match per week on Dynamite that they give the women, and the rest of it's just a bunch of Mickey Mouse bullshit. Nothing building up. No one's earning any stripes to get a shot at a championship. Nothing. Just Mickey Mouse bullshit. She calls herself the Epic, saying it's time for the greatest women's division to prove themselves to the champion. She says the division can't touch her, but she'd love to see them try. We head to the ringside where Jeff Jarrett's music hits and brings out the last outlaw, who has his boots on his shoulders as he gets into the ring, and he sets the boots down to grab a microphone, wishing Asheville a slappy new year before getting things started. This was the biggest waste of airtime I've ever seen in my fucking life. He pretty much goes and breaks down his entire career from his family. I liked hearing about how his family heritage started in pro wrestling. I thought that was pretty cool. Going over all that was fine. But him going ahead and talking about Impact Wrestling and what he did and so forth. I mean, and then all of that to tell us that he's going to go one more time and risk it all, and is possibly sure that he might fall flat on his face, but still will try it anyway, is to become the world champion in AEW one more time. He doesn't want to be a TNT champion. He doesn't want to be a trios champion, a tag team champion. or any of those championship belts. He wants to go after the number one belt in the promotion, where all these young stars are trying to fight to become the world champion. I am totally against this. I don't even see how this is even going to work. Like, Tony Khan is actually going to put all of his effort and time creatively to build Jeff Jarrett up to the point where he is actually going to be a credible challenger for a world title. We're going to see this long build where he's going to finally challenge for the championship to ultimately lose. Or in Tony Khan's case, you might actually have him win and then drop the title immediately afterwards, because that's all he's truly trying to do. And he's going to be able to do this all in 1 year. He's going to try to do this all in 1 year, because he's only got a 1-year contract with AEW. And once that contract's up, he's retiring from pro wrestling permanently. Or at least from in-ring action. Okay, whatever. Good luck. I don't see how this is even going to work, how this is going to be creatively successful. I mean, chances are it's highly unlikely it's going to happen. That's going to work out. And he announces that he's going to put himself in the gauntlet match. Like, what did he do to earn it? He sat on the sidelines for the last several months doing nothing. But yeah, he's going to go into that match. Sure. Makes tons of sense. Keep up the good work, Tony Khan. You're making perfect sense logically. We get a video package highlighting Hook's issues with Christian Cage, leading to Hook issuing a challenge to the patriarchy himself. And we get confirmation that in 2 weeks, it'll be Christian Cage taking on Hook at Maximum Carnage. Sounds like something ripped off from Venom. Back at ringside, Powerhouse Hobbs heads down to the ring and he faces 2 fucking jobbers and beats the shit out of them in less than 2 minutes. Wow. You lose a match to Takeshita for the International Championship, and now you're beating up jobbers again to display how tough you really are. Whoop-de-fuck-you-do. We cut backstage where Alex Marvez asked Big Bill and Brian Keith a question I certainly wasn't asking. Where is Chris Jericho? Bill explains that Jericho isn't here before noticing Rated R FTR running the trio and the city of Asheville down, and this leads to Copeland calling Keith a tumbleweed and saying Big Bill's face looks stupid before issuing a challenge for Collision this Saturday against the leader of the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho. Bye, guys! I mean, I thought the commentary of Edge, I would rather call him Edge, it's better that way. But yeah, he's Adam Copeland in AEW. I liked his commentary on, the Learning Tree and everything else. But that commentary that Big Bill's face looks stupid, I think is very weak as shit. So, whatever. Anyway, we hear from MJF after his match at World's End, where the former world champion mocks the Undisputed Kingdom before turning his attention to the title he claims he never lost. He also mentions in detail that he was very happy he won the match. And yeah, they may have beat the shit out of him. It took him and a bunch of his friends to get their revenge on him. But who won the match? It was me. I'm still the AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring holder. And I won the match at the end of the day. So, big whoop-de-doo for you. He calls out the dick, and he pretty much says that him and Adam Cole are done at this point. He calls out Dictator John as he wants his title back. In 2025, The Devil Gets His Due, Part 2. Fucking, in this promo, MJF was intense. I really liked it, and I'm really think that is the guy that ends the story of the Death Riders. But that's going to also have to play into the fact that he's going to have to turn babyface again. I really believe that. But, it is what it is. Back at ringside, the Death Riders make their way through the crowd for our main event. The trios enter the ring as we hear that Claudio will be heading to Wrestle Destiny to face Shota Umino at the Tokyo Dome before FTR step out to the stage. They're soon joined by Adam Copeland as Rated FTR head down the ramp, entering the ring to a big pop from Asheville crowd before this main event gets underway. John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta versus Adam Copeland and FTR take place. This match was fair. It was a decent main event. We had Edge and FTR win this match thanks to Jay White getting revenge. And then after he gets hit with the Blade Runner... Hold on. So this is near the end of the match. They bring Copeland to the table as Mox looks to hit a Gotch-style pile driver while Yuta goes back into the ring where he's met with a Blade Runner by Jay White thanks to the ref focusing on dealing with the situation outside. Copeland counters with a back body drop, sending the champ off the table, sliding into the ring as FTR and send Claudio away before hitting the shatter machine on Yuta and then the spear by Copeland to get the 1-2-3 and the victory for Rated FTR. The trio celebrate in the ring as the commentary runs down the card for Collision, as well as a reminder that Kenny Omega will make his return next week before Dynamite Fight for the Fallen comes to a close. And that's pretty much it. That is AEW in a nutshell. So, my attitude is that this show was a C show. I don't think that this show was super great or super terrible for that matter. It was right in the middle. The Jeff Jarrett thing was absolutely nauseating. I particularly did not care for that. And I just think that the show really lacked some creativity. It had some important creativity in certain aspects, but it seems like they're trying to rely on Adam Copeland now for this Death Rider story, which to me is not really AEW. He's not the core of AEW, neither is FTR. These are former WWE superstars going up against former WWE superstars that apparently care about the company but are big names. So they're using their names currently right now for this temporary story that they're trying to tell with the Death Riders until we come to the conclusion. That's what I think Adam Copeland is. I think he is being utilized as a specific person for this story, but it's only a stepping stone to leading to the next chapter of the Death Riders running through AEW. I got one problem with this World Championship run with John Moxley. You're the fucking world champion. You're not even carrying around the belt. You got it inside of a fucking suitcase. And you call yourself the champion. How can you call yourself a champion if you ain't got the title on your shoulder or on your waist? To me, that's just fucking insane. But that's just my opinion, my viewpoint on that. But overall, I think the show is okay. C grading for this. Right down the middle. Average show. But nothing super spectacular about the show at all. with a few minor decent stories that were told in the show today or last night. So that's pretty much my viewpoint on this show overall. So let me know what you guys thought of the show in the comments down below. Hit the like button if you liked the video, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And I thank you very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.